It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Monster Monday presented by DraftKings, America's #1 rated sportsbook app. And what a glorious Monday it is. Man, there's a lot to get to. A lot of games that happened, some games that didn't. We got an extra one tonight. We'll get to that momentarily. What a wild day for those of you that listen to the Even Money podcast, and we netted out even going into tonight. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years, classic journeyman. And by the way, I love Journey. And I got a bunch of podcasts. We do the college draft on Monday to get you ready. Biggest draft prospects in the biggest college football games. And then we've got tomorrow the Even Money podcast along with my power rankings. Wednesday, Fantasy Feast along with Andrew Brandt. Thursday, part 2 of the Fantasy Feast along with Greg Cosell. And Friday, I make my picks. And I give out the winners. Spread the word winner will be announced on Friday. Easiest contest I'm aware of. Just give us a quick retweet, a quick like. You can check out any of our pages at Ross Tucker NFL, at RossTuckerPod, Twitter or Instagram, Facebook.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Any little engagement counts, and you could be the winner. I just sent Dennis Walsh, who was a spread the word winner, just sent him that Jets Broncos press pass. He heard he was the winner Friday. He said, hey, can I get that Jets Broncos press pass? Absolutely, Dennis. To the victor, go the spoils. Sponsor confirmation email winner. This will be our last week giving out a free Madden code. Who wants the last Madden code is my question. OmahaSteaks.com. Put the code Tucker in the search bar. DraftKings app, put the code Ross in the promo code. Send me a screenshot or take up or use up a couple of other sponsors. Whatever it takes, just make sure you let me know whether you want the Xbox version or the PS4 version. We will have a new YouTube shout-out winner at the end of the week. I've recorded a couple videos for the last couple of YouTube shout-out winners. And patron shout-out, Eric Hobbs. Patreon.com/RT Media. Kudos, Eric. Welcome to the family, bro. You are going to love it. I was actually already on our private Tuckhead Slack channel this morning commenting on Tim's beer, which looked so delicious. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
Ross, had a crazy week in the NFL, and my dog even thinks so too. What do you think of the games that actually did get played?
Well, it's interesting, Bri. I got a couple thoughts of the games that did get played, but I feel like before we even get to that, we need to talk about, the crazy last couple days. I mean, first of all, Saturday midday, found out that Cam Newton had tested positive for the coronavirus, and everything kind of went haywire. I mean, everybody, and then there was Jordan Teamu, the practice squad guy for the Chiefs. Everything kind of went crazy, postponements, blah, 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 blah. And I remember thinking specifically, well, the same thing happened last week with A.J. Terrell, the Falcons corner. So what is really the difference when it comes to A.J. Terrell and Cam Newton? And evidently the difference is not that Cam Newton's a more notable player. I think the difference is twofold. Number one, that New England had to travel. So unlike Atlanta, where it's like nobody else came into the facility till they all got the point of care test, New England, those guys had to travel to Kansas City. In fact, they're, I believe, flying there this morning, barring anything unforeseen with the testing. And then number two, so that's a big difference. Number two is, I think, based on what's going on with the Tennessee Titans, where the incubation period, they call it, which is the time. And by the way, I'm not an expert. If I say anything that's medically incorrect, please don't jump down my throat. I don't pretend to be an expert. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn. I'm just telling you what I think I know or what I've read. But the incubation period can be 3 to 5 days. So even though the Titans have been shut down since early last week, there were still guys late in the week, Friday, Saturday, who were still testing positive. So it took that long to get into their system because they hadn't been allowed in the facility for the Titans. So that's the other thing, is they just want to make sure there's at least a couple days where everybody's clear with the PCR test, the point of care test, etc. So it looks like we got 2 games tonight. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Chiefs, Patriots at 7, then Packers, Falcons around 9 Eastern. Should be awesome. But yes, that is, because that was my initial thought is, well, what's the difference? They set the precedent. I'm sure this will be what Andrew Brandt says on Monday. They set the precedent on Wednesday. That set the precedent with A.J. Terrell last week. What's the difference? And the difference is New England was traveling. And I think they learned a little bit about the incubation period as it relates to the Titans. The net, I guess I would say, Bri, is that what we've really learned is that there's going to be single individual guys testing positive. You're going to have Jordan Ta'amu, AJ Terrell, Cam Newton. You're going to have individuals testing positive. Maybe it's a family member that they got it from, whatever, right? The real concern, the real issue is whatever happened in Tennessee, because it seems pretty clear in Tennessee there was some type of facility outbreak. So where's the contact tracing stuff? Where's the social distancing stuff? It's pretty clear it's not from actually playing football, because none of the Vikings got it. So it's something in the Titans facility, and that is what they are trying to figure out at this point. That was obviously a big takeaway, both the Cam stuff, the Titans lesson, and then just the scoring in the NFL, Brian. I mean, we'll go over every game. You look at these scores: 31-17, 38-31, 31-23, 31-23, 35-29, 49-38, 33-25, 31-21. Forget the Rams-Giants, 17-9, 30-23, 19-11, 25-20. The point is I had 2 unders on the Even Money podcast last week. It'll be a while, maybe never, that you hear me take an under again. It'll be a long, long while before I do that on the Even Money podcast at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Speaking of the DraftKings Sportsbook, they're giving all new users, so if you kind of wanted to wait a little bit in September, they're giving all new users the chance to receive a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. On top of that great sign-up offer, DraftKings offers great odds boosts every Sunday to help you make it rain. And they got a 200% profit boost on any basketball market. So you do a prop bet and NBA Finals, whatever. Anyway, it's also how you can get the last free Madden. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code ROSS when you sign up and get up to $1,000. That's code ROSS to get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey or PA only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tuck's Takes.
Let's go into these games, each of them one at a time, and we'll start with Lamar Jackson, who rushed for a career-high 50-yard touchdown in the Ravens' 31-17 win over Washington. And Ross, credit where credit is due. You said that they were going to come out strong after last week's loss.
Yeah, I'm glad. That's why you listen to the Even Money podcast, because I got the Ravens when they were laying 13 points. And when John Harbaugh put RG3 in at the end of the game, and was throwing the ball deep down the field. I have no idea why he did that. I don't know if he was trying to make a point or prove a point. RG3 throws a pick. So whatever point they were trying to prove totally backfired on him. And they almost didn't cover. They didn't cover for the people that were laying the 14. It's funny, after like the Sam Darnold run or even like the Teddy Bridgewater run, you don't realize that that's Lamar Jackson's longest touchdown run, 50 yards. You feel like he's got a lot of long runs, but he almost celebrated too early there, by the way. But that was huge for the Ravens, that touchdown run. The fake punt was significant in the game for Baltimore as well. And they were still able to win by double digits, even though Ronnie Stanley, who's a very good left tackle, did not play. Haskins threw for over 300 yards, maybe some empty yards a little bit, as they call it, as he played okay in the second half.
Tuck's Takes.
Down in Tampa, your friend Tommy threw 5 touchdowns, and he brought the Bucs back from down 17 to beat the Chargers 38-31.
You were there, Bri.
I was there.
All right, so they are typically top 5, top 3, some would say top 1 in the NFL in press box food, at least in the non-COVID era. How much of a drop-off was there, Bri?
Very little. In the COVID era, they still came through. Your choice, it was a box lunch. Your box was either a choice of prime rib or salmon. I went with the salmon, one of my favorite foods of all time, by the way.
Me too, dude, Bri. Okay, I respect. I'm a big salmon guy. Love salmon. It's also crazy healthy. And that's pretty, I mean, as far as box lunches go, prime rib and salmon, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Finally, we agree on something food-wise, by the way. Side salad with grilled chicken on it. And to top it off, they had cookies that were about the size of my face. You had a choice of either s'mores, a sugar cookie, chocolate chip, or white chocolate macadamia nut. So I went with the s'mores and the chocolate chip.
That's the right choice. I feel like we're having a breakthrough. You've made all the right choices so far. I thought you were going to say white macadamia nut. I was going to punch you through the camera here, youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL. Nice, Bri. All right. What grade do you give them?
I got to go A. Absolutely.
Nice. Army had the same stuff. So there's really 2 things at Army. Number 1, they got the CBS crew meal, which had the pulled pork, the chicken Caesar salad, and the penne. I went with the chicken. It was good. Not as good as the week before. It was good. And then I went with, and the chicken Caesar salad was not as good either, unfortunately. And then the actual Army press box, they had sandwiches, and I got an Italian, and it was darn good. I mean, really darn good. So that was a very nice treat, especially at halftime. I gave my partner half because they had run out. So solid. As far as the game, Bri, what a great game you saw. I mean, highly eventful. I took the under in this one on the Even Money podcast. Boy, was that a mistake. The Bucs marched for an easy touchdown in the first drive. But how about Justin Herbert? Answers back with a bomb. And then Brady threw a pick 6. And Justin Herbert threw multiple bomb touchdowns to undrafted free agents. Kid named Johnson, Guyton, Mike Davis, not the running back, had a pick. I mean, who are these guys for the Chargers? Mike Evans got hurt, but he came back. Eckler got hurt, did not come back. Brady was awesome after the pick 6. That's such a great example in life. You can have a bad play. You can't have a bad day.
And by the way, I don't know how much of that was his fault.
Why do you say that?
Oh, because you could see him. I forgot who was the receiver that I think ran a wrong route on that, and you could see him.
Well, I was throwing it to Justin Watson, who's from Penn,
and
it was not a good route by Justin Watson. He rounded it. It was obvious it was coming, and the corner was able to jump it. But Brady still threw it. I mean, it's Watson's fault for a bad route, but he still didn't. I mean, he still can't throw the ball there. Then Herbert was impressive. By the way, so that's my lesson. You can have a bad play. You can't have a bad day. You can make mistakes in life. Don't let it compound. I tell my daughters that. I feel the same way. Anyway, Justin Herbert was impressive until that last interception. Really impressive. Last interception was tough. Mike Evans had a big day. The fumble by Josh Kelly for the Chargers after Eckler went out deep in their own territory, that was just an absolute killer for them. That would be a good game, by the way, to check out NFL Game Pass. I've been telling you guys for a while about NFL Game Pass. Love the condensed games. Absolutely love it. Love the coach's copy. Love the full replay. It is absolutely awesome. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial today. They also have access to the entire NFL Films archive. So that's especially awesome in the offseason, but even right now, why not get the free trial, be able to check out your fantasy guys or your bets or whatever on the condensed games, or maybe your own team. It's a great way to watch your own team a second time. NFL Game Pass, where football never stops.
Tuck's Takes.
360 yards plus 2 touchdowns for Russell Wilson. Seahawks beat the Dolphins in Miami, 31-23.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what there is to say anymore. Russell Wilson is playing at a ridiculous level. This game went about how I thought it would. The Dolphins hung around. They kept nipping at the Seahawks' heels, so to speak. But Russell Wilson, ridiculous. DK Metcalf, what an amazing pick at the end of the second round that guy was. And what a huge miss by so many NFL teams. And for the Dolphins, Fitzpatrick was slinging it around. Xavier Howard made a play, second game in a row. But, it just seems like at some point, they're 1-3 now. At some point, the Dolphins are going to put Tua in there and let him go.
Tuck's Takes.
Minnesota Vikings got their first win of the season with the help of Dalvin Cook's 2 touchdowns. Vikings over the Texans, 31-23.
The Minnesota Vikings. So Dalvin Cook killed the Texans. I mean, Dalvin Cook was incredible in the game. Cousins was very efficient off play action to both Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. This is the Vikings formula, and I give them a lot of credit. I thought the Houston Texans would win. Bill O'Brien leaks before the game that he's going to do more with the offensive play calling. Didn't seem to work, Bill. You leaked that out there because you think you're going to put a bunch of points on a bad defense, get the win. Did not work. They did not. I mean, they didn't even score 23 points till it was late in the game. I will say this. Will Fuller had a big day, but he couldn't quite make that touchdown catch, which would have given them a chance to tie it on a 2-point conversion. Would have been an epic comeback. And really, the Texans didn't even start doing anything offensively until Harrison Smith was ejected.
Tuck's Takes.
Got to assume now, Ross, that Matt Patricia is on the hot seat. Lions have now lost 6 straight games where they have led by at least 10 points. The final in this one, Saints 35, Lions 29.
Well, so he was already on the hot seat coming into the year, and he's in major trouble now, right? I mean, there looks like they're going to probably be last in the division again. And they keep getting these 2 touchdown leads, and they can't sustain them. And he's supposed to be a defensive guy. And after I like the Lions touchdown drive, DeAndre Swift caught a touchdown pass. Happy for that young man. They get the tipped interception from Brees, score another touchdown. But then there was nothing. I mean, Brees, just like Brady, had a bad play, but not a bad day. Came back after that interception was awesome. Marching up and down the field. Kamara, incredible as always. Stafford's interception to Patrick Robinson when he was trying to throw it to Hawkinson in the end zone, that really ruined any chance that the Lions had to actually win that game. So, man, that's the thing. Patricia's supposed to be a defensive guy too. I mean, that's That's what's really killer about it, Bri.
Tuck's Takes.
The Cleveland Browns have scored 30 points in 3 straight games for the first time since 1968. They knock off the Cowboys 49-38. That's not exactly the score you predicted on Friday.
No, but I did predict the Browns to win. I did let the doggies out. So I am very, very happy about that. That was the one we posted on social media. I got to retweet that or something. That was prescient by me. You know how to spell that word, Bri?
No.
You know how to spell prescient?
Prescient?
Yeah.
Are
you familiar with the word?
I'm not.
Oh, boom. Prescient. It's like you're able to see the future. Like you're able to say something that ends up happening. It's you're prescient. It's a prescient thought. Prescient. Usually when I say that, when I say look it up, Bri, I'm messing with you. But this time, look it up by Bri. Boom. Man, that makes me feel good. Woo! Prescient. Real word. Look it up. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so this game went about how I thought it would in the sense that Myles Garrett was able to dominate the Cowboys' offensive line for most of the game. The Cowboys' defense is absolutely terrible. I mean, the Browns ran for 307 yards. You never, ever, 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 ever see that in the NFL. 300 yards. Odell Beckham Jr. had an incredible game, including the clinching touchdown run late where it looked like the Cowboys might be making an epic comeback. OBJ took that to the house. I said all offseason, took him on all my fantasy teams. I said Odell Beckham Jr. is going to break out because he doesn't have that hernia anymore. And he has. Boom. The fumbles for the Cowboys by Dak, Zeke, that killed him. The only thing that really helped them is Andrew Sendejo had some major issues for the Browns. The Nick Chubb injury, though, is one to watch. Good thing for the Browns, they got Kareem Hunt and have both of them. Dak, over 500 yards passing. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, not enough. Doesn't matter.
Tuck's Takes.
Joe Burrow got his first NFL win. Bengals beat the Jags 33-25.
Yeah, this was kind of disappointing. I had the Jags and the points on the Even Money podcast. Definitely more points than I thought there would be. And the Jags had the lead. I mean, DJ Chark showed some toe drag swag. I believe that's a Nate Burleson-ism. Miles Jack was incredible on that interception in the end zone. Score really could have been worse. I mean, Miles Jack made a ridiculous end zone interception, Bri, to kind of save the day. Joe Mixon ran all over the Jags. Joe Burrow threw for over 300 yards, primarily to Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. He's still over 300 yards, I think, every game or at least 3 in a row. Jags D's awful. They were terrible on offense on third down, and they got what they deserved.
Tuck's Takes.
Colts beat the Bears 19-11. Indy's defense, the star of the game, allowing only 269 yards, 28 of them on the ground.
Bears were totally inept on offense throughout. Totally inept. Really, other than the Allen Robinson crazy touchdown catch and the 2-point conversion, which, by the way, saved my 2-team teaser because I had teased them up to 8.5 points on the Even Money podcast. Huge. Anyway, but that's it. I mean, Justin Houston's a dude. DeForest Buckner's a dude. Xavier Rhodes a dude. You know what's interesting? All 3 of those guys were excellent players elsewhere. You don't see that very often, Bri, where you get 3 guys who are playing great, all from other teams, who played great for other teams. Roquan Smith balled out for the Bears. Defense did a nice job making the Colts settle for field goals, but Nick Foles kind of turned back into a pumpkin for a day.
Tuck's Takes.
3 touchdowns for Teddy Bridgewater helped the Carolina Panthers upset the Cardinals 31-21.
Is that Cinderella, Bry, turned back into a pumpkin?
You're the one with 2 young daughters. You should know this. But
So
yeah.
you don't know the answer either.
No, it is.
Oh. What turns back into a pumpkin? The chariot?
Yes.
That's not what it's called. What's it called?
The carriage.
Carriage turns into a pumpkin. This was a surprise. I really thought the Arizona Cardinals would bounce back. They did not. Teddy Bridgewater had a nifty touchdown run, showing mobility, had a good game throwing it again. Robbie Anderson and Mike Davis balling out again. I mean, Matt Rule can coach, man. Matt Rule can coach. Arizona had no pass rush, which is surprising with Chandler Jones and Jordan Phillips. Carolina D is much better than I thought they'd be. Much better. I didn't think they'd win 5 games this year. Well, they're young guys, Etor Gross-Matos and Derek Brown and Chin. I mean, they are running around making plays. They held Kyler Murray to 133 yards passing. Terrific effort. Terrific by them. Speaking of efforts, I love local businesses. Love it. You guys ever check my timeline, social media? I tweeted out and on Instagram at Ross Tucker NFL a few beers from Trogs, which is another local brewery. Visa knows that local businesses are the heartbeat of our communities. Whether they're our corner stores, our coffee spots, or our favorite shops, local businesses have always been there for us. They remember our orders. They call us by name, always giving back, making a difference, and going that extra mile to support us and our community. And right now, more than ever, local businesses need our support. Now it's time for us to return the favor. The next time you go shopping, make the choice to shop at local businesses and look for the contactless symbol and tap to pay with a contactless Visa to help support your community. Because where and how you shop matters. Visa, everywhere you want to be. Official partner of the NFL.
Tuck's Takes.
The New York Giants remain winless at 0-4. The Rams win this one 17-10. They never trailed throughout this game.
It's a shame, too, because the Giants wasted a really good effort by their defense. Their defense, best effort of the year, played well. Other than that long Cooper Kupp touchdown, Giants defense really came to play. But they settled for field goals on offense. 3 of them. Darius Williams had that big interception late in the game when the Giants, Danny Dimes, they were driving. Huge play by Williams. The only other noteworthy thing about this game, Bri, was the brawl after the game. Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate, evidently Golden Tate's sister and Jalen Ramsey have some history. It was a brawl. There's going to be some major, I would think, fines. I don't know if there'll be suspensions, but major fines. You can't have that ever, let alone when you've got the COVID era. So we shall see.
Tuck's Takes.
The Buffalo Bills improved to 4-0 for the first time since 2008. Bills over the Raiders 30-23.
They just keep rolling, Bri. I mean, they just keep rolling. Josh Allen was a stud again, even though he came out of the game for a little bit because he got hurt. Stephon Diggs, what a trade that was for the Buffalo Bills. Unbelievable. And then they forced turnovers. The Raiders actually moved the ball pretty well throughout the game, but the Bills got the critical turnovers they needed to when they had to. That's what they've been doing, and they won. Again, Bills keep rolling. That's a game that the Raiders are going to look back on and say, man, we could have had that one.
Tuck's Takes.
And finally, Sunday Night Football. The Eagles go to the West Coast. They pull out a stunning upset, 25-20 over the San Francisco 49ers and get their first win of the season. And what does that mean? They're leading the NFC East.
Right. Huge win for the Eagles. Absolutely huge. Wentz was not great, had an interception, missed some throws, but he was clutch. He had a huge throw to rookie John Hightower for a 4th down. Unbelievable throw to Travis Fulgham, who they just moved up from the practice squad for the go-ahead touchdown. I mean, he ran for a couple. I'll tell you this, Wentz is clutch. He's not consistently accurate, but he is clutch. The Eagles' D-line was ridiculously dominant in the game. They were awesome. And it was not a great game for Nick Mullins. Not a great game at all. And the pick six that he threw right to Alex Singleton. Nick Singleton's a local high school football player. Alex Singleton, pick six, the former CFL linebacker. So happy for guys like that when they get an opportunity. And my guy, the left tackle from Australia, Jordan Mailata, had a really good game. He had one false start. Other than that, a really, really good game. George Kittle was an absolute monster for the Niners, but not able to win the game by himself. Hey, football fans, are you an Amazon Prime member? Did you know that you can watch Thursday Night Football live on Prime Video? That's right. It's the future of football. You can catch all the action on any device, almost anywhere in the world. You can choose your favorite announcer, including Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, or Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah from Move the Sticks, or Chris Long and Kerry Champion from NFL Next. Get next-gen stats and watch in-game replays on demand, all within Prime Video's X-Ray. Next-gen stats are real-time stats powered by AWS. No more waiting around. You can access the current stats anytime. Need to check how your favorite fantasy player is doing? This is the ideal way to stay up to speed. In-game, on-demand replays are accessible on your remote, on Fire TV, or by turning your mobile device sideways. So if you're a streamer or simply want the most custom way of watching Thursday Night Football, tune in live every Thursday starting October 8th. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. and kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern on Prime Video. Also available on Fox and NFL Network. NFL Network simulcast subject to change. Thursday Night Football is presented by Bud Light Platinum. Recommend you check out youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL to see my dancing and everything else I just did during that quick commercial. Shout outs to Pizza Boy Brewing, DynastyFreaks.com, Sporticulture, SteakhouseSports.com, Vision Comics with an X. Remember to shop local with Visa to help support your community, because where you shop matters. Visa, everywhere you want to be. Please check out the College Draft Podcast today, whether you're into college football, I know a lot of you are, or whether you are just into knowing about the top prospects, because the draft will be here before you know it. And then even money tomorrow, you guys already know what we got. It's going to be awesome. Please rate and review the show. Spread the word via social media. It means a lot. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, RossTucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.